Today is August 18th, and this is part 39 of our study of end times. Well, we've come down now to the end of the millennium. Remember, at the beginning of the millennium, Jesus came and is ruling as king of all the earth. There are saved people in their glorified bodies here on earth, ruling and reigning with him for this 1,000 years. And then there were people in their natural bodies that came over into the millennium, and they had children, got married, had children. Now, since during this 1,000 years there were no wars, so there were not thousands of people killed in wars. There were no plagues, so thousands of people were not killed with plagues. So I would imagine 1,000 years is a long time. So I would imagine by the end of this 1,000-year period, there were probably billions of people on earth again in their natural bodies. But remember, at the beginning of this 1,000-year period, Satan was chained and put in prison in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. Now we've come to the end of the 1,000 years. So we're going to read in Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Now Satan's going to be turned loose again on the earth. Now remember, for 1,000 years, no one has been tempted by Satan. They don't know what that's like. Verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now, first of all, who's Gog and Magog? For our study, it doesn't make any difference who Gog and Magog are. So don't worry about that. The thing that I want you to see about this is that Satan is loosed and goes all over the world and deceives people and gathers together a great multitude of people, like the sand of the sea. It says in verse 9, and they, that is this multitude of people, went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. So they came, this great multitude comes now and surrounds Jerusalem where Jesus is, and thinks they're going to be successful in defeating Jesus. Why? Because they've been deceived by Satan, made believe something true that's not true. But watch what happens now. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Won't be any battle here. They'll just be consumed with fire. The whole bunch, this great multitude, will be burned up instantly. Then in verse 10, thank goodness, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now this lake of fire we'll talk about maybe tomorrow at the Great White Throne Judgment. But if you can imagine a lake with fire, that's what it says. It's burning with fire and brimstone. Brimstone is sulfur. It burns very hot and it stinks when it burns. Now then, this lake of fire in Matthew 25:41, it says, then he, that's Jesus, shall say to them on the left hand, that's the nations that don't go into the millennium, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. Now get this, prepared for the devil and his angels. So Satan, the devil, and his angels now are cast into the place that has been prepared for them, the lake of fire. So at the end of the millennium, Satan be loosed. There will be a great rebellion. Satan will deceive a lot of people, and they'll come and surround Jerusalem. But God will rain fire down and consume them. And then Satan will be taken. and be put into the lake of fire, where he will be forever. This is his end. So that's the end of the millennium, and maybe tomorrow we will talk about the great white throne judgment that will take place. So until then, hope you have a fantastic day today.